Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are taking on a rematch here in for a really cringe. I'll show you in the defense replays, but it was super cringe, and I was like, nah, this is not gonna fly. We're definitely rematching this one, and here we go. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing to really be worried about or anything too complex. We're just going to go in here. Eirika will do the job with Vantage, and that will be that. I don't know if this means that at some point we're going to start getting Party Bear and Echo or something, but Vantage is really strong right now, especially if the unit can actually survive or actually kill, I think is the most important part. If the unit can kill, then you're good to go as it relates to Vantage, and that's what Eirika is capable of doing, so we're going to let her do that. Just going to send her up there, and she should be able to take out everything here, Felix included, and that's GG's. That is where the game is, man. I'm actually considering if this is Elm is an indication that we just have to start running Vantage on all of her units on defense in some capacity. Maybe this is the signal that we're going to get some type of Vantage seal. Maybe it's maybe not even a seal, maybe just some type of upgrade to the Vantage B. Maybe this is what that's indicating, because I don't see how else we're supposed to combat everything that's currently in the game without the ability to just not get hit, because it's so easy to KO everything that is everything that nukes are really powerful, so it's so easy for them to kill whatever it is that they're attacking. The only way to really counter that is to have some form of Vantage, since while the nukes are very powerful, they're usually not the tankiest. So really that's the combination that makes the most sense. Attack before they can attack you. And if that is the direction that the meta is going to go in, or if that is IS's intention, then I get it. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell they're doing, man. It's just, it makes no sense. It's like breaking the game to do what exactly? Because I don't see how you resolve this issue. I really don't see how you resolve this. But yeah, man, let's see what IS is cooking up and take it from there, man. Really, yeah, man, it is what it is, man. We're just gonna let them do their thing and then figure it out. I mean, do we even trust IS to continue the game at this point? I mean, maybe, what if they're thinking that they've made enough money and it's just time to call it quits, and they're just gonna steamroll all the way to the end line and just blow everything up? I don't know, that doesn't sound like a good business strategy, but I don't know, man. It seems like they're letting intern cook a little bit too much. Dev 1 and Dev 2 need to have a sit down talk with him and get him back on track, or get him to pump the brakes a little bit, because it's getting kind of crazy. I mean, it could just be for this little celebratory season that we're in, but I'm not even so sure about that, man. Because IS has just been going and going at full throttle lately with these banners. Not even the banners, just the units. Some of the units themselves has just been so powerful, like spike after spike, in terms of just how strong some of these units are. And it's just like, why are we doing this? Like, what is the purpose? Summer is supposed to be like the next, I mean, yeah, Fallen banner, but then Summer is supposed to be like the next big thing. So what are we ramping up to for Summer, and then after that CYL? How insane are the units going to be this year? I mean, I'm literally watching Ike getting one-tapped by this Marth. Emblem Ike, who was like the menace of last year, getting one-tapped by a unit that just came out. He's not even that old. I think Ike came out around this time last year, a year old, and he's just donezo, plus 10, absolutely destroyed. It's just, I don't know, man. We're getting to a point where units just have, well, I think we're already there. Units just have no longevity. And it's kind of like what unit from last year are we still using? Like, I can use Sita sometimes, but she dies a lot. I mean, even the new Eirika is able to take her out, and Eirika's a red unit, and I have cav effective damage and damage reduction against calves, and Sita still gets like, it's the brave hits really that does her in, but that just goes to show you there's just no longevity in this game at the point that we are right now, and it's really bizarre, man. I don't know, man. It's too fast. They really need to slow it down and give the units some more time to breathe. Like we literally just got Eirika. We just got her, and I feel like she's already been power cut by this Marth. Granted, it is some type of celebratory season, and 35 years, we get this rare unit who I'm not quite sure, because I did my summons because of course, I mean, this is the most powerful unit in the game currently. So of course I'm going to summon for him, because why would I not? And I don't even think he's going to be back until maybe end of the year, maybe. I don't think they're going to rerun him too frequently. That's just my headcanon, because he's just that strong. I don't think they want to flood the game with him and create some type of FOMO around him and how good he is. I think that would be a good tool to make him more desirable when he does come back eventually. But yeah,
where shall I go?
I don't know, man. I don't think.
I will try.
I definitely pulled on the banner, and I did get him and Elm. Who I don't even know if I don't need Elm. That's the thing. I don't really need him. I'm probably just gonna, but because he is gonna be bonus next week, it kind of feels dumb to not run him, for the bonus unit. So
Good morning.
Decisions need to be made, and it also just feels gross planning on using Elm, because it's just so easy. He makes the game way easier than it needs to be. I don't know, man. It's bizarre.
Good morning.
I go.
I will be
But
cautious.
yeah, we're pretty much done here. We don't need the pot since it's the last match of the week.
Understood.
It was nice having Asker around, at least for scoring. He allows me to score a bit higher for light season, but he doesn't really offer much. Let's roll right into the defense replays, man. GG's. Okay, here we go with the defense replays. I wasn't gonna make a video this week, especially after Elm, because one, I feel I'm still exhausted from all that those extra hours that I worked last week, and then two, nothing's changed. Well, I did change. I had to make some I did make some adjustments to Loki here, and I've made some adjustments because of Camilla. I made some adjustments to Rhea, and I also gave Gold Mary Lagu's loyalty, because it does help a bit in the speed matchup. We do lose out on the 100% DR piercing, but the speed matchups, it does help her a little bit. I gave Loki Havoc. It's fantastic. And I went with Deflect Melee. Doesn't really do anything. If I'm being honest, it doesn't really do anything against Camilla matchups, but I had to run the Hardy Bearing on Lorather. It was just mandatory. He dies otherwise, unless it's Shield Fighter. But then with the Shield Fighter build, it just felt risky running the Shield Fighter build. I wanted to run his Perf B and get some more damage output that way. I didn't want to run the Shield Fighter build this week. So yeah, Hardy Bearing on Lorather, and even if I ran the Shield Fighter build, I probably would still have given him Hardy Bearing in any case. But yeah, like I said, Deflect Melee, Deflect... The only build on Camilla that would have really... What am I saying? So I updated Rhea's kit, and I gave her, well, at least just for this week. It's probably going to be more than just this week. Let's see what happens in the future. But for now, I've given her Deflect Melee. It doesn't matter in the Camilla matchup, but what is helping is the amount of debuffs and Dance that I have on my team to assist assist Rhea in the matchups against Camilla and other melee nukes that would potentially take her out in the first combat. It essentially forces them to use the dance to cleanse the debuffs from Havoc and to neutralize any additional sabotage or whatever else it is that is affecting their primary nuke. Granted, that is just one strategy or one countermeasure. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but it did enough for this week, I feel, even though I started to see a lot more Windsweep Lins out of nowhere. Well, I guess it existed before, but this week, I don't know if it's because of the upgrades I made to defense or if everyone just realized that now was the time to start going Windsweep on Lin. And she is able to take out Laretha here since he can't counterattack. If he could, he would have, one-shot, but since he can't counterattack, he gets blown up within 5 hits, which is the only thing that the Havoc doesn't counter, unfortunately. It doesn't have a feud effect, so I have no way of stopping Lin from benefiting from Marissa's support. So unfortunately, we lose Laretha there. Interestingly enough, though, Laretha wasn't the one that I was really worried about this week. I was worried about Rhea losing the melee matchup, and it seemed from the replays that I saw that the support and the build were enough to at least prevent Camilla's from initiating on the first turn. Most opponents that matched into me with Camilla did not choose to initiate. The trap placements, the positioning of the healing tower, which it was always there in any case. I always had it there, not for Camilla, but just because that's the best spot to put it in. All worked out favorably for me in the sense that no one really was able to attack into my Rhea on the first swing, which is good. That was the plan, and the plan was successful. Unfortunate that Laretha got blown up by so many Lins, but really not much you can do about that because there's only like 1-2 far saves that have no counter disrupt. 2 of them are Fjorm, and then Byleth. And then also I'd have to drop Laretha for someone else, and then who am I really dropping Laretha for when essentially this defense is built around him because of the assigned decoy that he inflicts. So it's still he's still very influential to the way that this team functions. I can't just drop him. And then if I drop him, who would I replace him with? And then even if I were to keep him, but then, not use him as a save, who am I taking off of this team? Because essentially all of the pieces here work well together. I could probably consider dropping Gold Mary if I get a good enough support unit that it just makes sense, but there isn't one that has no kind of disrupt that could also work as a far save. That would also provide enough support. Fjorm needs the speed. I guess you could go with the Lin Ring on her, but still, she kind of needs the speed. So yeah, and then also she'd be exposed. Well, someone would be exposed to Eirika in that spot where Gold Mary is. The reason that Gold Mary is there, and the reason that I gave Gold Mary the Lagu's loyalty and all of the skills that I gave her, is because she can survive against Emblem Eirika, whereas Laretha would really just blow up. So not a lot of options to put right there in that particular spot. That's like the main spot that isn't covered by near save. So yeah, that's the reason that the defense is built this way, and it did fairly well aside from a few losses here and there, or just a couple of opponents that didn't want to surrender, which I'm not gonna play all of those because I already took a unit, so there's no need to see. They're just going to clean it up, because after the defense moves, it doesn't really get back into position or into a formation that helps them survive a follow-up turn. They don't really, like, if you bait them out and if you can survive the first combat and get to turn 2, typically there's someone out of position that can be sniped, and then eventually you can get through all of the defense. But yeah, not a lot of options for me to change anything here. There is some potential to maybe swap out Loki, but he's really good. Really, really good, man. Especially with the Havoc. very, very good support unit, this Loki. She's aging very well, particularly because she's a healer, which means that she'll get that innate no counter disrupt, or have the potential to have that sweep effect. And here you see Camilla doing the dirt here, just being a menace. Gale Force on her is fantastic. I think at some point, if it didn't already happen, she did like 203 damage with no special. She's hitting those really massive numbers that you typically associate with a Deadeye or an Astra. She's doing that with just raw bulk, like she's just hitting that hard, and it's actually insane. I don't think we haven't seen a unit like this before, and she definitely is living up to her potential on defense. I think she's very, very good with Gale Force. You don't have to worry about her missing kills, which I don't know if you had that concern, but if you do, she's just to let you know, she hits hard enough without the no quarter. She doesn't 100% need it if you want to consider running her on a Gale Force team. And here we go again, another Camilla team that isn't initiating, which is the goal. That is exactly what I wanted. And it just so works out that the distance between their Camilla and my Camilla is usually in my favor, and I have enough stuff there to block it off so that they can't get in. But they only have the 3 turns of safety to try to survive, and then, you know, I get to go in and do my stuff. Here we go. And you'd think that Cord would live this, but he's already losing the speed check, and there's so many drives and debuffs that I have on my team that just makes it impossible for him to win the speed check, which is kind of insane because he does have bonus stats. I guess if he's plus 10, maybe. But the flash there really did help us out. And then this, you know, I haven't figured out, maybe if I gave Camilla a rally, she wouldn't go all the way down here and leave herself exposed. But, you know, it is what it is. We've already gotten a kill. It's fine. It's fine. And Eirika's in the back. But like I said, they're far enough away that, one of my units is going to get exposed, and, you know, it is available for them to just pick off the team one by one. There isn't a ton of mobility here, which is just overall unfortunate. But the team did very well, I want to say. I feel like this is the first full run of the defense since I built it. We did lose, like I said, a couple, but they're typically all in lift loss control, which is very fortunate. Really, really fortunate. So I don't think we lost a ton of points on defense, which is great. I'm okay with this. Undefended in this particular instance is something that this is a loss that I intended to take. This was back when undefended was, what's the word? The word just came to. This was before Elm, essentially. This is how I was gonna say, this is when undefended was balanced, and now Elm has introduced it at the middle of the turn, which you really just can't do anything about. So I don't know what they have planned for the Fallen banner, and I also doubt that there'll be something that helps us out for a unit that just came out a week or two prior. I doubt they're gonna give us something on the Fallen banner that stops mid-turn debuffs, especially because that unit is more than likely going to end up in the regular pool. So I don't think that's going to happen unless it's like some type of skill, or they give us a rearmed or a tune unit that is non-limited, or a limited unit that has something to help out in that regards. But I don't really see, again, what that unit would be. We got Medios and Myrrh getting refines, so nothing to really look forward to there as it relates to Legendary Mythic remix refines. Don't see them getting anything that's going to stop middle of the turn status effects, status debuffs. I don't see them getting that. Probably some type of healer, that would make the most sense, but it's probably going to be Engage. So because it's Engaged, there's a high potential that it's going to be some type of insane unit with insane skills, because Engage gets preferential treatments when it comes to just being busted, which is acceptable because it is the newest game and the latest release in the franchise, so it makes sense for them to get all the good stuff. They did the same thing with Three Houses when it came out, so I can definitely understand Engage getting that type of treatment, but I don't see it, Hortensia maybe, but I don't see it being to the level of what we would need to combat someone like Elm for Aster season. And also, more than likely, we're going to see him in Light and Dark season as well for those people who just don't take Ether Raid seriously. There's always going to be someone who just doesn't want to deal with it that day, and that's what they're going to do, and we're just going to have to deal with it. But then, in his actual season, there's no way to stop him. Like, you're always going to have an option to attack from, and yeah, let's not turn this into an Elm rant again. Marth. Don't believe I said too much on Marth. I really love his Vantage stuff. I wish they had. That is exactly what I'm not the first to say this. That is exactly what they should have done with Brave Marth in terms of potential power. He had this new Marth, this new duo is exactly what Brave Marth should have been, which is why I still wish they need to go back and refine, redo something, because that art is too good to waste it on the refine that they gave to him. It is so bad. What they do to these Brave units, they just don't last. Again, I mentioned yesterday all of the colorless Brave units have just been rubbished after a couple of months, and I don't expect that to change because colorless just does not get anything favorable in terms of new skills typically. And there's just so much I think the Brave arts are some of the best arts in the game. Probably second place is Summer, of course, because Summer bathing suits, of course. But yeah, the Brave arts are some of the best arts in the game. They're fan voted favorites, and they really deserve to get some more preferential treatment. I feel like there needs to be a little bit more invested into them to keep them good for a longer period of time. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. It feels like there's at least one of them from every year that goes the distance, but I feel like that's a bit of favoritism, and it's typically not the female. It's typically the male. So I don't know. They need to be more equitable in that regards. Asker here, like I said, did his job for this week pretty much. You're gonna see plus 10 attuned Sita here versus Eirika in a little bit, and like I said, even my Sita doesn't stand up to unmerged Eirika. With the Brave hits, it's just too much damage, and then he's gonna be debuffed on top of it, so it's quite unfortunate. Nothing lasts very long in this game. It's really quite unfortunate. Even with upgrades, nothing lasts very long. Here you go. Yep. And this is 2 hits.
Forgive me.
Insane, man. That is insane. Red versus blue. And the blue unit is supposed to have all the advantages in the world, but she still just dies. It's crazy. Fixes to this defense. I would love to prevent Camilla from just going all the way down there and offering herself up for sacrifice like it's the Hunger Games. I think that would mean giving her some type of rally, or she does have a positional assist, but she doesn't use it for whatever reason. So yeah, maybe some type of rally or harsh command might fix that, but I don't know, maybe that's for another week. Let's see what is left of defense when IS is done with the Fallen banner. Let's see what's left. I think I'll probably be putting Marth on my SDR team. I was actually building a team, and I was looking for a frontliner that wasn't 100% dependent on speed. Marth is to some extent, but he makes his own speed, kinda, sorta. And he actually just fits the build of what I'm actually looking for. I was really looking for a flyer for this particular map. I had Sita. She was doing fairly well, but she won't have much of an enemy phase because of limited support. With the team that I'm planning on using for SDR, let's see how well that team does. It's actually a pretty fun team to use. It's pretty simple. You know, most of the meta units that you would expect to be on an SD team are there. And I think Marth is the final piece that will make it all come together. I think he's going to be #1 used unit for upcoming SDR. So I would highly recommend that you try to pull and get him, because even outside of SD, I think he'll be a very good addition for every game mode that we are that we have and that we will get in the future. I think you're going to need him even to help you out with Arena, because I'm pretty sure you're going to see +10 versions of him in Arena, and you don't have a lot of countermeasures against that. I mean, he is a flyer, so you know you can always shoot him down, but wind sweep or some type of sweep effects, because you know Vantage desperation at that, which sucks. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of my thoughts here. Not a lot left that I have to say. Don't think I'll be building a defense for Anima season. I really don't, man. Like, if I was supposed to, or if I were to I'm going to try, Marth would be included because of Vantage. I'd probably just put a whole team of Vantage units. I'd put Eirika, Marth again, because that other Marth also has Vantage, but I guess his isn't the most consistent. Who else has Vantage? I don't know, but that's really what I would do, since most offense teams don't have Hardy Bearing on a unit that matters. They typically have it on some type of save, so that would give you a leg up. And also, you know, it prevent Elm from actually doing too much. There is the caveat that he will more than likely win the speed check, so once he wins the speed check, you're probably going to not be able to get the retaliatory KO, which is good for him, because he just needs to, well, he doesn't even need to survive, he doesn't have to attack. But for the feud of it all, for the feud effects, he just needs to be able to take out one of your units, and then the whole thing, if you're putting an Vantage team together like that, typically it's going to require a lot of support. Maybe that's what I'll do. But that's if I choose to build a defense. I don't know if I'm going to or not. It just feels pointless. It really does feel pointless. This is the first time that it has felt pointless. Yeah. Typically, whenever a new unit like this comes out, I'd always have some type of idea within the days after to try to counter it. But this time, it just really feels pointless, man. It does. It really does feel pointless. Whew, okay. Not that much left.
Winds, howl.
Just seen Lin here snipe all of my units. This was the team that I just finished rematching from the earlier portion of the video. And you can obviously see why I decided to do that, because this is super cringe. It's interesting, though, that Lin was able to take out Larather with the 3 hits, but it's primarily down to the wind sweep. Without the wind sweep, she would have died. And I don't know if because what I could see happening is that wind sweep will become such a common denominator for offensive nukes that IS will introduce more no counter disrupt effects into weapons, like they've done with the Marth. I don't like that. I don't like the game going in that direction, because it means that you just won't have a way to attack into anything. And that's what Flash offers you, at least one option. Flash or sweep effects offer you at least one option to be able to successfully attack and then safely engage and, figure it out from there. But if, everything that has been really strong or heavily used and meta, IS have slowly been countering them one by one. Kanto, it's crazy. First there was Kanto, Then there was Cancer Control. Then they're like, nah, Cancer Control is too strong, so here's your Cancel back, which is what they did all of last year, giving us Cancel +1 even after Cancer Control +2, and now you just get to run all the way away with Sakura. So yeah, I can easily see them, if they so desire, if Wind Sweep and Sweep effects in general become too common, they're just gonna give everyone no counter disrupt, or give the most powerful units in the meta, or just introduce more saves and attune units with no counter disrupt. Ascended Fjorm is coming up on her Refine and Remix, or just Refine, they don't get remixes. Well, we'll see. Let's see what happens. I mean, there's quite a few Ascended units in the D-mode pool at this point, so let's see what IS decides to do with them. They might just skip all of them because they're going to be too powerful, but yeah, that's pretty much it for where we are right now. I don't think we'll get another replay that counts. Well, maybe. It's typically 10. Next week. Yay. Let's see how that goes. GG's. See you in the next one.